All right, good morning and welcome to Daf Yomi Megillah, Daf Chaf Aleph. Today we'll be starting a new parak, the third parak of Megillah. Um, we'll start today with three questions that will be found on today's Daf. First of all, um, the Mishnah says the Megillah is allowed to be read to the tzibur even when you're sitting. What is the halacha when reading a Sefer Torah in front of the tzibur, that to sit down or not? It's kind of a tricky question. Second of all, same thing. Megillah is allowed to be read by multiple Balei Kriya at the same time. Does the same thing apply by the Torah? And the third question, the Mishnah talks about that you're allowed to be Mosif on Aliyos sometimes. You're allowed to have more than, for example, three during the week. Three people are called to the Torah. Rosh Chodesh Chol Hamoed, four people. Yom Tov 5 people, Yom Kippur 6 people, Shabbos 7 people. On which days you're allowed to have more than the standard number for that day of Aliyos? That is the third question. And the third question will be the introduction to Iyonot Ben Sion for today. Hope you stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment below. Let's go. All right, we're on the top of Chaf Aleph, the second line. We're talking about things that are kosher to do during the day. Why is Arifas Egla, when you're not sure someone who murdered somebody between two cities, you bring a calf and you decapitate it in a valley? How do you know that's done during the day? Amr Debariyana, Kapara, Ksiv Bakajim uses the word Kapara. And there's a klal whenever it says the word Kapara, Kadshem, bringing up karbanos also says the word kapara. We know from yesterday's daf that has to be done during the day. So therefore, rifas egla, even though it's not kachim, also the halacha is it's done during the day. Taras mitzora. You matar the mitzora. You let one of the birds free. You shecht one of the birds. You sprinkle the blood on the mitzora. So it says during the day of his tara. It must be. It's only kosher during the day. The whole night is kosher for reaping, cutting down the barley grain to be offered as Korban Omer on Ted Zayin Nisan. So the Gemara says, the Amar Mar, we learned in Mesachas Menachos, Ksira v'Svira b'Layla b'Vav Yom. It's actually, you have to look up the Gemara Menachos. They learn that the Ksira, the reaping and the cutting down of the Omer and the Sfira, counting Ksiras Omer, are done during night. Havav Yom, the bringing of the Korban Omer, is done the following day during the day. How do you know the choice fats and the choice avarim that you take from korbanos are burned at the night? It says the whole night until the morning. So you see it's done at night. That which is the mitzvah during the day is kosher the entire day. Zaklal is an interesting language. What is it coming to include? Sidur bezichin v'siluk bezichin. Talking about on top of the lechem apanim, he used to put a spoonful of frankincense, whatever, some spice, and they used to take it off. On Shabbos, they used to switch the lechem upon him and put new lechem upon him every Shabbos. Rabbi Yossi, Omer Silek es Hayshana Shachris. If you took off the old loaves of bread and the old bazikin, which is on top of the loaves of bread, in the morning on Shabbos morning, and right before Shkias Achama, you put the new loaves of bread and the new frankincense. Ein b'chach klum. That's okay, even though most of the day of Shabbos the shulchan was left empty. Mana mikayim lifnei Hashem tamid. The pasuk says that the bread has to be, the lechem has to be in front of Hashem always. Shlo shulchan b'lechem. It means that the whole day it shouldn't be one whole day where the shulchan is empty. But if part of the day is empty, that's okay. According to Rabbi Yossi, the Rabbanan argue. They say right when you take off the old one, you have to immediately put the new one. That would be not kosher kol hayom. It would have to be only at that point when you take it off. You have to put it immediately right on. That which the mitzvah in the night is kosher the whole night. What is that call coming to include? To include another thing, the eating of the Korban Pesach. That can be done the entire night. The reason the Mishnah says this is to teach you not, Allah is not like Elazar ben Azariah. You eat the basar, the meat of the Korban Pesach on that night. the night of Tedvav Nisan. Amar Elazar ben Azariah, never come b'layla hazeh, v'never lahalim avar Mitzrayim b'layla hazeh. It says by eating the Pesach this night, and it says when the Yisrael was leaving Mitzrayim, it says b'layla hazeh, malahalan chatzos, just like over there. When Hashem was killing the Bechoros, it happened at Chatzos. It only went until Chatzos. Exactly Chatzos, Hashem killed all the Makas Bechoros. Afkan Chatzos, too, Achilas Pesachim, all of until Chatzos. Rabbi Akiva argued, he said, can you do it the entire night? So our Mishnah is like Rabbi Akiva, not like Rabbi Zebin Azariah. Hajar Allah, Hakore, Lamafreya, we did it. 2 Prakim. I believe there is 4 Prakim in Masechet Megillah. Halfway there, and Daf more than halfway there. 3rd parak. Hakoreis the Megillah Omi V'Yoshev. Someone who reads the Megillah can read it either standing or sitting. Kara Echad, Kara Shnayim, Karu Shnayim, Yatsu. Even if one person reads it or 2 people read it at the same time, we're going to see even 10 people, maybe 100 people read it at the same time. It's okay for Mikra Megillah. Makom Shanagu Levarach Yivarach. The place where the minhag is to make a bracha, you should make a bracha. Shlo Levarach Yivarach. We'll see in the Gemara this talk with the bracha at the end of Kriyas Megillah. The brachas before Kriyas Megillah is not up for dispute. It's not telling minhag. That's the kana of the Rabbanan. B'sheni v'chamishi b'Shabbos mincha. B'sheni v'chamishi b'Shabbos mincha. On Monday and Thursday, everyone's favorite days is to go to Daf to Shachris. So you come and you have Kriyas HaTorah. And the best part of Kriyas HaTorah is V'hu Rachum, the long tachnon that you say. That is everyone's favorite part of Shul. I know I personally, when I wake up on Monday and Thursday, I jump out of bed because I want to get to Shul and say that V'hu Rachum. And also, Shabbos and Mincha, you have 3 people that are called to the Torah. Garan Shlosha, and Pochs Meme, Mostif, and you can't have less than 3 aliyos. You can't have more. Ve'ein maftir benavi. There's no Torah. Haboseach ve'achosem b'Torah mavarach fanel lachareh. The person, we're going to see in the Gemara that originally the takana was the first person who reads the Torah makes the bracha, and the person with the last aliyah, the 3rd aliyah, after he's done, he makes the concluding bracha. There's only 2 brachas for the entire Torah reading. Rosh Chodashim Chol Shamod Koren Arba on Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed. You read 4 aliyahs and Pochsimim Mosif and you can't have less, you can't have more. There's no Torah. Like we said before, the first person makes the opening bracha, the last person makes the concluding bracha. Zak Klal Kol Sheyesh Ba Musaf Eino Yom Tov Koren Arba. Any day which has a Korban Musaf or Tfilas Musaf, and it's not called a Yom Tov like Chol Hamoed and Rosh Chodesh. 4 people are called to the Torah, but Yom Tov Chamish. On Yom Tov, 5 people are called to the Torah. Yom Kippurim Shish. On Yom Kippur, 6. B'Shabbos Shiva. B'Shabbos 7. In Pochsim Man al Mosif and Alein. You don't have less, but you could have more. Maftir Menavi, and you do have Torah Navi, which really is going on Yom Tov, Yom Kippur also. Again, the first person makes the first bracha, the last person makes the last bracha. So now we can answer the 3rd question. We're going to answer really first, even though the first 2 questions really came from the first part of the Mishnah, but we didn't really see the answer until Amud Beis. But the 3rd question we asked is, could you add aliyos on Yom Tov and Yom Kippur? Shabbos, it's clear you could add aliyos. Yom Tov and Kippur, machlokas. So this is really footnote 16 in the Arch Scroll if you're following along from Rashi. And says, "Ve'in mosifin aleim roshei chadash v'chol hamoed nami yikol bittul malacha. The malacha is davar avid muteris." Rashi seems to indicate that it's going on all of them, meaning Yom Tov and Yom Kippur. Also, you could add aliyos if you want, because people are not going to work. If you look at the Rashi above, "Ve'in mosifin aleim shelo yiksha l'sibur b'nei shehin yimei malacha. Shabbos mincha mincha shecha hu sharei kol yom hu yigil lidrosh." All these days, other days, Mosifin Alayim is because there's malacha to do. Chol Hamoed and Rosh Chodesh. Also, people go to work because they have Davar Avid. So basically, they're work days. So according to Rashi, it's basically a work day. So you have extra aliyahs. You're gonna diminish the amount of time people have to work. You're gonna ruin their parnasa. That's what it comes out from Rashi. And the support for this is that Maftir Menavi, the next line of the Mishnah. We know that how that halacha goes also on Yom Kippur and Yom Tov also. Now the Ran, others explain, the Ran brings that the statement that you can mosif only applies to Shabbos, which I believe is the halacha. We pass like this the halacha. So what is the svara according to this according to this other Manda Amar, which we paskin like. Why is it that Yom Tov and Yom Kippur you can't add aliyos? Rashi says because Bittul Malacha on Yom Kippur and Yom Tov is not really Bittul Malacha. There is Heter V'Chol Nefesh, but really Heter V'Chol Nefesh, most people don't work. You don't do work. You're allowed to cook a little bit, but how long does that take? So he explains, as the article says, so it's not to equate these days of lesser sanctity with the Sabbath. These days have lower kedusha. Yom Kippur and Yom Tov, they have lower kedusha because there's no Isser Skila. Only on Shabbos is the Chiyuv Skila. They have less kedusha. Just to explain this thought a little bit, this will be the Yom Ben Sion, is that because there's a heter of ochel nefesh, so it would come out according to this position that the reason chol hamoed, what is it? I've always said is chol hamoed. It depends how you look at it. Is it a day of chol or is it a day of moed? Depends how you look. You look at it as a work day. You're not looking at it as a work day. According to these other opinions, it would come out more like this is the minhag in the yeshivish world to take chol hamoed as like take off from work and go on family trips to the zoo. If you haven't watched my video on going to the zoo on Chol HaMoed, check it out. It's very funny. It's not a day. It's a Yom Tov. It's a Moed. It's a Moed. So therefore, the day really Davar Avid is only Shasad Chak. It would be an afkamina whether Davar Avid is Chutra, the Chuya. Get into that maybe Maseches Moed Katan, the next Masechta. It would seem, according to these opinions, which you paskin like that, you try to restrict your work on Chol HaMoed as much as possible. So therefore, it's not a question of Bittul Malacha. The reason you can't add on, it's because there's less kedusha. There's less kedusha, so therefore, the more aliyos means the more kedusha. The more you're adding on to Limud Torah, you're dividing the portion into more aliyos, more brachos, more kedusha. So therefore, only Shabbos, which is a higher amount of kedusha, you're allowed to do it. It's not like Rashi says, not because of you're losing out on money. It's parnasa. It's because of the lesser kedusha. And Yom Kippur and Yom Tov, there's a heter v'chol nefesh. Therefore, there's less kedusha, and also there's no skila on Yom Tov and Yom Kippur. Gemara says Tana. That's the end. The conclusion of the Sion, sponsored by Megillah and joking. All right, Tana. The Gemara says Masha'ein came with Torah. Torah can't be read while sitting down. Menani mili to be mostly the sibur. Amar Rabbi Abba, Amar Krava Tapo Imodi Madi. When it comes to Matan Torah, Hashem said to Moshe, "You stand with me." Amar Rabbi Abba, Ilmali Mikra Kosov. If this pasuk wasn't written, Ef Shalom Ra, I would be remiss. I wouldn't want to say such a thing. That sounds from the pasuk that even Hashem was standing. Hashem standing is heresy. Hashem should be sitting. Amar Rival Minayin L'Rav Shaliyesha L'Gaimita Avishnas Lamido Gabikar. How do you know Rav shouldn't sit on a bed and his student shouldn't sit on the floor? Shenemar Atapo Imor Amadi. You have to be on equal footing with your Talmidim. Tanarab Moshe Barar Gamliel. Days of Moshe till the days from Gamliel, which was the end of the second base on Mikdash. Lo ayu lamed in Torah elam umad. Whenever they learned Torah, they would be standing. Mishmeshra Gamliel Yard Choli La'olam. Once Gamliel died, sickness fell to the world. Ayu lamed in Torah miyushav. They would learn Torah sitting, like we do now. I understand. Mishmeshra Gamliel batal kavod Torah. The kavod Torah was lost. People didn't stand while they learned it. Kosav echad omer of Eshe Bahar. One pasuk says that Moshe said, "I sat on the mountain when I got the Torah." Because of echad omer anichi amarati Bahar. Different pasuk says that Moshe stood while he was on Har Sinai. Amar Rav, Omid v'lomev Yoshev v'shonet. He would say, "Hey Shmuel, what's going on? You want to join me?"
No, you're learning nicely there.
Nah, I want you to join me.
You're giving a share. It's very.
Yeah, I'm giving a share, but with a lively person like you, it's a whole different experience.
Oh, thank you. Hello.
Shmuel is taking a long absence over there. He went to the Bahamas. You know what the capital of the Bahamas is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Lincoln.
No, it's actually the county where my parents live.
You joking?
Yeah.
It's in Bahamas?
Nassau County. Nassau is the capital of Bahamas. Anyway, Shmuel did not go to NASA. He went to the other part of the Bahamas. He went to that. I think there's like a place like what is that place?
The Bahamas.
There was like a big water park over there. I forgot what it's called.
Great Adventure.
No. Something Atlantis. Lost City of Atlantis.
Ah, the little city of Atlantis.
Yeah. So Shmuel was vacationing there. It was a great story Shmuel had because he was on this water slide. Listen to this story. He was on the water slide.
Yes.
He was going down really fast.
Yes,
He was holding his kid. How old is your son?
Oh, which one? The little one?
How many? Yeah. How many kids do you have?
Just make up the story. Make up an age. Who cares?
All right. He's taking his son, who was how old? He have 2
4.
sons. 4-year-old son. And the great thing about this is that his son. We're gonna do without the son. He didn't really take his son on the slide.
No, it wasn't really son.
He went down the slide.
Raccoon.
While he was going on the slide, it was like one of these slides that go straight down.
That's right.
He actually was dancing on his way down. He is so athletic
That's
that
right.
he jumped up in the middle while on the
That's right.
decline
That's right.
and started dancing
That's
the whole
right.
way down.
With my special little seatbelt that they installed, it didn't stop me.
The seatbelt didn't stop him. He
That's
was
right.
twisting, he's throwing around
That's
the seatbelt
right. That's right.
like
And
like a
everybody was
rope.
looking. The whole.
Yes, it became
the
an
whole park
attraction
was looking at me.
to the point that they hired him the next
exactly,
day
the
to
next
do
day.
the performance.
That's right. Again.
So every day he did the performance.
That's
he got
right.
paid
That's right.
€1 million a day. I don't know why I got paid
I don't
euros
know.
when he was in mom.
I got a free entry ticket, and they gave me a free try at the ski
Where's your
ball,
tan? What happened to your tan, Shmuel? I don't see a tan. Anyway, it's all a
It's
joke.
cold
He didn't go to the Bahamas, but I don't know where he's been. He really has not been here, but the shear must go on, as they say.
Okay, so learn.
But
You're
as long
doing a
as
good job.
no, let's go. We're
What are
doing.
you doing now?
So we have a kasha over here. One pasuk says that Moshe stood at Har Sinai. One pasuk says that he sat. He stood. Amar Rav Omid Velomid Yoshev V'Shona. Rav says the first answer. When he would learn from Hashem, he would stand, but when he reviewed it, he would sit. He wouldn't actually really stand or sit; he would just be bent over, leaning on something. Yochanan says yeshiva is not literal; he really stood the whole time. It just means he stayed there. Yeshiva means stay there. Shneimar v'teishu b'kodesh yamim rabim. Klal Yisrael stayed in Kadesh, many days. Doesn't mean it means he stood. Rava Amar Rachos Mumar V'Kash Mishav. A fourth answer. Rava says the easy portions of the Torah he would stand for. The hard ones he'd have to sit and contemplate. Kara Echad Karu Shnayim Yatzu. If he read one or he read two, or two people read, your Yotze by Megillah.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the answer. Tana Masha'en came with Torah. You see that by Torah reading, when you're most of the Sibor on Shabbos, Kriyas HaTorah, you can't be sitting. Now, it's machlokas, whether that's b'diavet or only l'chadchila. Tana Rabbanan, it was Torah, that's the answer to the second question. Tana Rabbanan, Torah, echad korah v'echad metargim, mavajlu echad korah v'shnayim metargim, when you can have one read and one person translate, as long as you don't have two people translating. When Navi echad korah v'shnayim metargim, Navi's a little more makel. You could have two people, it's more interesting. You can have two people translating. If two people are reading the Navi that's in Hebrew, it's hard to pay attention. Hal and Megillah, when it comes to Hal and Megillah, I feel Asara Korah and Asara Matargim, even if 10 people read and 10 people translate, it's okay. My time I came in the Chaviva Yavi Daitayu Vishami, since it's special, it doesn't happen all the time. Halal, not so often, 21 times a year, 18 times a year. And Megillah Esther only happens twice a year, right? Two Yomim on Purim, so therefore people will pay attention even though there's a cacophony of sounds. All right, Malcolm Shanagu Lavarech, you know that word? Cacophony?
Caffeinated?
Cacophony.
Oh, you was so good.
Cacophony. It's like a mixture of sounds.
Coffee.
Big word. Big word.
It's a nice word.
Yeah.
You made it up, right?
No, it's a real word.
Oh, it's a real word.
Yeah, check it out. All right. Makom Shnaga Levarach Yavara, a place where there's a minute to make a bracha by Kriyas and Megillah. You do, if not, not. Amar Abayi Lo Shana El Achare. There's only time the bracha after Kriyas and Megillah. Aval Lefaneha, the bracha before Mikra Megillah, mitzvah Levarach. That is a chiv derabanan to make a bracha. The Amar Rabbi Yehuda Mashmuel call mitzvahs kulan varach alein al yasan. All the mitzvahs you have to make a bracha before doing them. My mashma. So first, the Gemara digresses to discuss over, the lashon of over. My mashma, the high over lishna dagduma. Who how do you know the word over means beforehand? Amar Rav Nachman Yisrael Amar Krava Yaretz Achimatz Zerachika Vayavar Kushi. It's like a Navi Achimatz went through the Kikar and he passed the Kushi, the Ethiopian maybe. Abayi Amar a different shot, a different pasuk. V'hachav hu ar lifneim, talking about in Yaakov. Yaakov went in front of his Machaneh to greet Esav. V'yibai Sema Machav Ayor Machaneh lifneim Hashem Rosham, a different pasuk that the king went in front of them and Hashem was actually even in front of him. Lefanem ma'imevara. What do you bracha do you make before Mikra Megillah? Or Sheishas Mekartrazia Igla Lekamid Rav Ashi. He came in front of Rav Ashi Baruch Manach. Manach stands for Mikra Megillah. The Mem Nun Nisim Ala Nisim, and Chet stands for Shechiyanu. La'acharei ma'imevara. What do you bracha make afterwards? Baruch Hashem Elokinu Melech Haolam. Akeh Haraves Riveinu V'danas Dinenu. He fights our battles, he judges our cases, he takes our revenge, he pays back our enemies, he does gmul, he does mida keneged mida for what they did for our enemies. Blessed Hashem who pays back, takes revenge for Yisrael against all their enemies. Rava Amar Hakel Moshiach. Rava says you conclude it not Hanifra like Yisrael Kol Sarayim, you include Hakel Moshiach, Hashem who saves. Amar Kab Behilkach, since we have two opinions. Nemrino Tavai, let's say both conclusions. Baruch Atah Hashem, Hanifra Leisham Kol Sarayim, Hakel Moshiach, which is what we do. And the minhag in most Jewish places is to say this bracha after Kriyas Megillah. These 3 times you read. I said my favorite day of the week. What when you come to Minyan, what is your favorite day of the week? To daven. My favorite day is Sheni V'Chamishi, Monday and Thursday.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Because I love saying the long tachon. You know, it's not quite like that.
That's nice. You're a good egg.
It's a joke. Oh. The Kriyas Torah is not so bad, but I'm telling you that long tachon. First of all, I have no idea how anyone says all the words. Somehow, they're always able to finish it in like 2 or 3 minutes to chaz. And if you said all those words, it takes at least 5 minutes. It is impossible. Even
you don't have to say. You say as much as you can. You don't have to say the whole thing. You say it and then.
I always had a problem with this. I try to say it as fast as I can.
No, you don't have to finish it. You do what you can, and that's when you finish. You end. You maybe say the tachnun. You know.
Who told you this?
I think I saw some wrote from the Taz. You yaitz with. Listen, if you're in a rush, you don't say. If you yaitz with part of it, you don't have to say the whole thing. I mean, you should say the whole thing, but if you're in a rush or something, they're going ahead. I don't know.
All right, Shmuel gives up a heter over here. He allows
I'm
me
not
to say the whole
I'm not
thing.
a Rav. I'm not a Rav. I'm just saying.
He is a Rav.
It's better. I'll tell you. It's better to say a little less and with slower than a lot and just zoom. That doesn't have any real meaning. What is it? I mean, what's
all
just,
right?
Right.
Daf
Yomi.
Right.
I mean, no.
Hani Shlosha Kenegim. These 3 aliyos correspond to what? Amar Ravasi Keneged Torah Nevi'im Uksuvim. Ravasi says. Because there's 3 important things in the Torah, Nevi'im, Uksuvim. So therefore you have 3 aliyos. Rava Amar Keneged Khan Levim Yisraelim. There's 3 important groups in Klal Yisrael. Khan Levim Yisraelim. Elahad, the Tani Rav Simi, and posting Masar Psukim, Beis HaKnesses. Whenever you have aliyos, you have to have at least 10 psukim. Vayidaber olam and amin. He also tells when Vayidaber Hashem Moshe Lemor that counts as a pasuk. Hani Asar Keneged Me. These 10 psukim correspond to what? Why 10 psukim? Amar Rabbi Shua ben Levi Keneged Asar Batlanish Beis HaKnesses, like we learned in Daf Hey, that you have to have a big city has 10 batlanim, people that sit around the shul and do nothing, like me and Shmuel. We're 2 of them, Shmuel. Beis HaKnesses.
I think I represent that.
Yeah, you're part of that. It makes into a big city. It allows the city to say Megillah on Yadal. It should be a kfar. You say it early.
Interesting.
It's important. Rav Yosef Amar Keneged Asar Hadibros. Keneged Asar Hadibros. Oh wow, we're getting all our.
שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם אשריכם תלמידי חכמים אשריכם תלמידי חכמים שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם ביוסף שדברי תורה.
My friends are back. This is
Daf Yomi.
2022, the new year. 2022, the best Daf Yomi every year. David and Shmuel came back from 2022. Woo, 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 woo.
כל הכבוד,
All
כל
right,
הכבוד,
great,
כל
great.
הכבוד.
Here we go. New year, 2020. Where's Shmuel? What happened? Hey, dance. All right, 2022, the year of Ben Silang Daf Yomi. It's going to be a new year, a good year. David and Shmuel came back.
That's right.
And I forgot his name. What's your name?
Summer.
Itamar's back also. He's joining us this year. Thank you. Say hello, Itamar. Say hello to the camera. Hey, Itamar. All right, we got all the friends back. It's going to be great. We got a great 2022 coming to you from Daf Yomi headquarters here in the Agaf in Bnei Yeshivas, Tailstone, Israel. All right.
That's right. The Daf Yomi
That's good.
center of the Bentzi Lang Daf Yomi Center.
All right, let's try to finish the daf now. We have
Let's
5
do
minutes
that.
left. So what are the 10 psukim keneged me? I'm going to show you maybe keneged asar about lunch breaks. Keneged 10 is a big number. Starts at Dibros. Shemar Moshe Sinai. They were said to Moshe at Har Sinai. Rabbi Yochanan Amar keneged asar mamorosh behanivra. Olam Hashem said 10 utterances when He created the world. Hai Ninu. Vayomer de Bereshis. What are they? When it says in Bereshis, it says Vayomer.
ברכס המוזן, צריך להיות בשמחה לפני ברכס המוזן.
Birkas Hamazon. I don't know what he's talking about. I think he just had a meal.
He had a meal. He had a happy meal. He had a happy meal.
Not a happy meal. Vayomer de Bereshis Hani Tisha Hava. What the Gemara says, Vayomer and Bereshis, and when the creation of the world, it's only 9 times it says it. Hani Tisha Hava Bereshis Nami Maimer. The Gemara says when it says Bereshis Bara Elokim in the first pasuk in the Torah, that's also an utterance of Hashem. V'dvar Hashem Shemayim Nasu Rachiv Kol Tzvam. With the word of Hashem, the Shemayim were created. It says Bereshis Bara Elokim is Shemayim. So you see the Shemayim is also created with an utterance of Hashem. Amar Rava Rishon Shekar Dal Meshubach Sheni Shekar Dal Meshubach Shlish Shekar Dal Meshubach. Right. So you have 10 psukim. So and they have to divide it. Right. So one of them has to have 4 psukim more than the other one. So the Gemara says if the first one read 4 psukim, there's a reason that it's positive. The second 4 psukim, and the third, there's a reason why all of them could be a positive thing. Rishon Shegardal Meshuvah Disnan. What's the reason for that? Mishalosh Kupos Shel Shalosh Sayin Shebehen Tormes Alishka Yikoslein Aleph Beis Gimel Eida Ezemen Menishma Rishon Lachrim and Rishon Shemitzvah Rishon. When you took from the Lishka Agazis, from the Lishka, the Chumas Halishka, the Matzah Shekel, they took to bring the Karbanos and Rosh Chodesh Nisan. They had Aleph Beis Gimel written on the different boxes, and they were makra first in the box that was collected the coins first. So that's why the first one is most important. Shemitzvah Rishon. I'm sorry, Shakara Arba Meshuba. The reason why the second person reads 4 is possibly a good thing. The Sanya Al Mul Pnei Menorah Yiru. Talking about the neiros of the menorah, they should all be facing the center. According to this opinion, the menorah was situated between the north and the south, and the Ner Ma'aravi was facing the middle candle. 7 candles was facing a little bit towards the west, towards the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and the rest of the candles were facing towards the middle. So the middle is the most important. Ner Ma'aravi Klape Shechina, and the western candle is facing Klape the Kodesh HaKadoshim. So here, the middle one is maybe the best. The last one reading 4 maybe is a praiseworthy. Then you go up in Kedusha, so therefore you go up in Kedusha, the last one should have the most psukim. Rav Papa came to the base Knesset, the first person read 4. Rav Papa praised him, sounds like the Lacha is the first person to read 4. In post commandment Musifin, Tana B'Seich Mevarech L'Fanev Achos Mevarech L'Achareh. The person who reads, the first person reading the first aliyah makes the bracha l'fanav, and the person, the last aliyah, when he finishes, he makes the bracha l'chareh. Idna, that's the halacha of the Mishnah. Idna, nowadays, every person who gets an aliyah makes a bracha before and after. Why is that? Because if the first person only made bracha beforehand, so therefore if someone leaves after the first aliyah, they'll think that you don't make a bracha after Kriyas Torah. And also, if you came in the middle of Kriyas Torah and you missed the bracha of Lefaneh, of the first person, you'd think that there's no bracha before Kriyas Torah. Therefore, they made a bracha. Every person that gets Aliyah makes a bracha. Have a good day.
Have a great day.
We'll
and
see you tomorrow. Be well.
Be well.
Love you all.
Love you all.
All our dear fans. Bye.